Welcome back to your home for everything local sports. It's JJ.
And Tyler.
And Mike. And this track and field video is brought to you by Naples Rib Company, and all of our track coverage this year sponsored by an anonymous donation in honor of Ron Alice.
Once again, Fresno is just LBC North on Saturday at the CIF State Track and Field Championships, Buchanan High School, and a different Veterans Memorial Stadium. But like I said, Long Beach is making itself at home.
Absolutely. It's a great facility for a huge event, our favorite way to end every school year. Love coming up here. Nice weather this year, was not scorching, as we take a look at Athletes Village just around the corner with the warm-up track, JJ.
It is beautiful. Poly and Wilson teams, they're veterans here at Vets, and they know where to soak up the shade, and that's important because it can get hot out here in the no, Tyler.
Yeah, and obviously they've had a great time coming up here and having success. And let's take a walk here as we go from the warm-up area over to the chute as the athletes make their way onto the track.
It is a perfect setup because they could just kind of walk over, get in there in the chute, lead up to this, and they're off. The first running event of the day is the 4x1 relays. It's Lotta Long Beach, y'all. Get used to it.
Absolutely, you're going to expect to see plenty of Jackrabbits and Bruins out there. This is going to be Layla Holland starting it off for Poly and Taryn Maroney starting it off for the Bruins.
Yeah, and this is a big race. In the team standings, the Wilson team definitely want to get off to a good start. Unfortunately, this wasn't exactly their best relay. The Jackrabbits doing well. Jalen Hunter for Poly, handing off to Anaya Brooks there. As we go on the backstretch, it was Kaylin Edwards giving to Brooke Blue for the Bruins.
And that's going to be Brooks and Blue on the curve right here as they're trying to give it off to Brooklyn Lee and Lauren Webster to close it out. The Jackrabbits running really well as you get to that backstretch in an absolute foot race right here. This is a great way to start the CIF State meet off as you see Brooklyn Lee trying to track her down. She's not quite going to be able to do it. Poly takes second in 45.78. Webster, a nice anchor for the Bruins, who finished sixth in 46.64. Wilson girls, the team favorites coming into this event. So every point they pick up is going to be huge. But a very nice finish there for the Jackrabbits with a bunch of underclassmen running in that race.
To the boys we go, the 4x1. And Long Beach Poly has a bunch of young Jackrabbits out there ready to impress.
Yeah, and they've really been impressing us all season. You just never exactly know what to expect with athletes this young, as Julius Johnson's going to start it off for Poly, handing it off to fellow 9th grader Ben Harris. And we know how talented these guys are, but these are bright lights. I know it's during the daytime, but when you get to the state meet, you just never know what's going to happen on a relay, and these young Jackrabbits came out and just flat out did their thing once again.
Yeah, this is an all Frosh-Soft team here as you go Juju to Harris to Jalen McNeil, and then that's Dante Wright on the back stretch. But this Poly team, really, really special. We're going to see great things out of them for the next 3 years. Also missing key pieces like Malachi Dawson, but you see Wright surges into the lead. Pittsburgh is going to catch him right at the end, but a 40.8 for an all 9th and 10th grade crew from Poly. That is unbelievable, and again, a very bright future for the Track Rabbits.
Early check-in on the field athletes. First up, it's the long jump. It's Wilson's Lauren Webster.
Well, and she had to miss some of her jumps so she could run the 4x1, so shout out to her. But she would win a state championship right here, 20 feet 9 1/4. Webster has been great all season, and she delivered with that jump right there as she claims not only an individual state title for herself, but as Mike mentioned, these are valuable team points for the Bruins as they're trying to bring back some hardware as well. Shout out to Webster doing her thing at the very tippy top of that podium.
Well, just impressive to be able to focus on doing those two events, as Tyler said. The crowd's starting to fill in. Great shade under the money tree on the near side, JJ. And, of course, that massive grandstand. One of the highest track IQ crowds you'll find. It feels like about half that crowd could go down and be meet officials at this event.
The girls' 100 hurdles up next, left to right. You're reading it. It's lane 3, Wilson's Kaylin Edwards, and lane 1, Poly's Anise Becker.
These are big team points. Kaylin Edwards, the defending state champ in the 300 hurdles, but did not advance through prelims in that event. Still, every point matters. She's going to finish in 8th and bring home a point for the Bruins in 14.88. Becker, for Poly, a nice finish in 7th at 14.34.
There's always some high-quality swag available to purchase here at this meet, and they literally have everything you need to buy to enter the race. Like if you forgot it at home, They got you set up. Where was that when I was playing Little League Baseball and forgot my bag at home like every fourth game?
It would have been nice. They just need to start selling some 562 merch in there. Back to the action on the track. The 400 Wilson girls sending Brooke Blue to the blocks as she's going to get around right here, starting it out in lane 3.
I love this race because it feels like a horse race. And I'm not saying that humans are horses or vice versa. I'm just saying when they come down the back stretch and then they turn and the entire crowd stands up, I imagine that's what it feels like at the Kentucky Derby.
Well, I was sitting next to someone at one point who said it's horse number 5, referring to what lane the person was running in. So
I'm saying.
Yeah. One thing to note here with Brooke Blue for the Bruins, almost everyone you're going to see competing for Polly and Wilson today are underclassmen. Brooke, one of those superstar 9th graders, coming out here and absolutely bawling. She is going to close it down here as she's going to finish 5th in 55-52. Again, huge team points as they're chasing down that team championship, but also for the freshmen and sophomores to put up the times they did today is beyond impressive.
Up next, a phenomenal story in the boys 400. For Polly, it's Zy Ricks. For Wilson, it's Caden Burrows.
Yeah, Rick's the super senior. Burrows, the freshman, just getting his feet wet in this event, trying to make a name for himself. Zy has been, injured throughout the year. Haven't gotten to see him exactly at full strength, and he has not won an individual state championship yet. So this race was his opportunity, and man, he is a special athlete, and we got to see it in this race.
Yeah, this guy signed to Nike's elite high school team already. He signed with the University of Georgia. A lot of athletes would have packed it in with the hamstring injuries he's been dealing with. And he told us all year it meant a lot to him to run for his high school, and he wanted to go and finish his senior season the right way. So he did all the work, he did all the rehab to come around that backstretch, see one guy in front of him, and feel comfortable stomping on the gas pedal and going out and getting him. That's exactly what he does. He joins the Poly 400 history with Bryce Shondellum, Shaq Howard, and others. He says it's about that jackrabbit as he finishes 1st in 46.79. Burrows from Wilson, again, very, very bright future there. Finishes 6th with 47.72. But a special moment for Zy Ricks, and I just have to say I'm really happy for the kid. He worked really hard to come back, and again, with the stuff that he's got in front of him, it would have been easy to pack it in. It really meant a lot to him to go compete for his high school, and we have nothing but respect for kids who have that view of their city and their school.
Shout out to our guy, Zy, for the state championship. Awesome performance there. Let's keep it rolling, JJ. Man, we're having a lot of fun, and let's keep it in the Ricks family.
Yeah, why not? In the shot put pit, it's his twin sister, my Ricks.
She's a recent Sacramento State signee. She finishes 7th with a heave of 41.03. It's an athlete who got a lot better over the last couple of years. Very impressed with my Ricks.
Fastest kids in California, ready to put on a show on the 100.
Among them, Poly's Ben Harris, the freshman. We just mentioned how incredibly poised these 9th graders have been. Harris, with a late surge, is going to finish 5th in 10.56. And, man, there was a lot of speed on that track. We go to the triple jump pit. The lone Jordan Panther in Fresno is Jamar Andrews, and he knows how to get the crowd going, JJ.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when he turns here, he can have the people on the track paying attention and getting loud as well, and the crowd followed suit. And wouldn't you know it, after this, his best jump of the day.
I love it. Close your eyes and jump, baby. Well, maybe not. I mean, the triple jump, you might get hurt. But Jamar, just a terrific athlete, multi-sport athlete, as he throws down, like you said, his best mark of the day, just over 47 feet and a quarter. Double PR this weekend. Shout out to him. He takes 3rd.
Back to the track, it's a pair of Bruin buddies, ready to run in the 800, where it's just a lot of pain in this race.
Yeah, we always say whoever wins this is the king of pain. JT Kramer, the Harvard signee. He is going to go out well for Wilson starting it off. But the guy, to be honest with you, I was really excited to see in this race, Wylan Obando, a sophomore, is looking like the real deal for the Brew Crew. They're going to get a lot out of him this year and for the next 2 seasons. See Obando, he's the second white jersey there, kind of biding his time. Kramer goes out in front.
And Obando just going to follow in suit.
Obando! Look at that. I mean, he really has a gas pedal. Talk about a real kick as you come around here. That's his teammate in front of him, and he says, that's all good. I'm going past him too. I want to go and finish out in front. Obviously, you're going to see him not quite able to hold off a late challenge here, but incredibly impressive. Obando, a silver medal as a freshman, 1:50.26. Kramer, 7th in 1:51.94.
And after jostling at the start, Obando and the winner hug each other. I love track and field. I love sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's good. It's just good sportsmanship. Weiland busting out the Obando, going to hug his brother Cash. Obviously, an emotional moment there. A silver medal in California is pretty damn impressive.
You can also get some pretty good food here, including our favorite, Chick-fil-A. Thank God they don't run this thing on a Sunday. Another jackrabbit in the field is high jumper Joy Anderson.
Joy Anderson really did great to make her way not only to the state meet, but through the prelims to the finals. Clears 5.3 right there. She would end up in 11th place with that clearance, and another athlete with a bright future.
3 the hard way. Get your knees up for the 300 hurdles, y'all.
Yeah, and Wilson freshman Sanaya Vernado, a terrific performance here. So obviously not expected to do a ton based on her location here. But her coach, Shannon Fisher, said, you're the fastest one out there between the hurdles. So when you get over those hurdles, you better sprint and make up time. And that's exactly what she did. And again, another 9th grader, just not afraid of the moment, stepping up for her team. And these are valuable points, any spot that you can pick up, and an impressive performance for her. And she's going to end up taking 2nd place in this race with a 42.11, a terrific showing from a freshman.
Well, these points right here put Wilson in 1st place. They would briefly give up that lead, but realistically, this was kind of when you started doing the math on these points. Like, I think Wilson's really in the driver's seat comfortably here, even after some other things not going their way this weekend.
On the boys' side, it's another Bruin. It's Ethan Bartby, and he's in lane 9. This is an interesting rule here. You can say you're just not ready. It's not actually a false start. I don't think a lot of people knew that when they blew that whistle.
Yeah, and, I never raised my hand in class, so shout out to Barty for showing that it can be done.
I find that hard to believe.
He's out there on lane 9, and he was really dialed in. It's tough to run on the edges like that, but he put in a solid showing, finishes 5th in 38.32.
We're gonna putting it through for 2. It is the 200, and it's a big race for the Poly boys in terms of team points.
This is the freshman Julius Johnson. This kid goes by Juju, and most of the time when people tell me they go by Juju, I say I already know a Juju, actually, and he was pretty good. But this kid, unbelievable on the football team as a freshman starter, and unbelievable on the track team as a freshman as well. Super impressed by a 6th place finish in 21.64. Moved up a couple of spots, which would be huge for Poly in the team race. Very, very nice performance by Johnson.
A mass of humanity out here for the relatively new 4x8 race. It is a distance race, but it's also a relay. So we got a lot going on in this one. The Wilson girls team of, I don't know, can you find them?
Yeah, there's definitely heavy traffic out there. It reminded me of home. Just the 2nd year of the 4x8s at the state meet. But nice to see, Long Beach team still out here representing, and it is just a chaos when they hand off the baton. I don't know what I would do out there.
Riley Jones, Kennedy Bryant, Natalie Maz, and Elisa Rodriguez fighting through the traffic that looked a lot, actually, like the traffic on the Grapevine as we were all trying to come up to Fresno on Friday, but very impressed, the Wilson quartet.
Wilson takes 13th. The star of that race was Ventura, breaking some records. This is our last chance to cover Milliken senior Jason Parra, and he's in the boys 3,200.
He was obviously going to see him front running here, which has been his strategy all 4 years we've been able to cover this kid. And we've covered him in cross country and track. So it's really 8 seasons of Jason Parra we've gotten. We know he's off to Notre Dame next year as part of the nation's top recruiting class. But he wanted to go out with a gold medal here. He runs his strategy. He gets out in front of Evan Noonan of Dana Hills. Noonan, a famously strong kick as he closes out 3,200 races. But Parra, very good himself. I think the problem here is you see, and Parra said, he expected to put a little bit more distance between him and Noonan. It didn't happen. Noonan was able to sit on him and wait and wait and wait and go, which is exactly how he runs his races. You see the pass there, then he's going to stretch it out. Noonan wins it. Parra will end up taking 3rd in 8:47.43, the fastest 2-miler in Long Beach history, and an unbelievable high school career.
Yeah, he got silver in this race last year, then takes 6 seconds off of his time and ends up 3rd. I mean, those are just kind of the breaks in the races that you run, but what a career for Jason Parra. Been an absolute pleasure covering him, whether it's cross or whether it's track. A terrific career.
The penultimate race of the night, and it's all left to run for in the girls 4x4 relay.
Let's set the scene. The Wilson girls need to finish 4th or higher to go back-to-back in the state championship race. That's obviously what they want to do. They've got Brooke Blue, Aileen Washington, Kaylin Edwards, and Sanaya Varnado. They're going to go out and try and get this thing for Poly. It's Layla Holland, Jalen Hunter, Aaliyah Stokes, and Nevaeh Lewis. Wilson, the only ones running for anything in the team race at this point. They did need to get that top 4 finish in order to maintain their lead. And they got a really nice opening leg from the freshman Brooke Blue, who put them in a great position. That's what you want in a race like this because there's so many nerves. You just want to go and finish the first leg in the spot that you need to end up in so that you know, okay, all everyone's got to do is run their race. No one has to be a superhero, but watch Brooke Blue absolutely explode down the back stretch there to put them exactly where they need to be. If there's a pack of 4 and you're in it, you know you're looking at a team championship for the Wilson Bruins.
Yeah, blue by you if you're the competition. And to your point, Mike, the 4x8s were very noisy. I mean, there were people dropping the baton, falling down, and so I think they got an idea of like, things can get weird when you have to pass the stick. And so when you give yourself a lead, you give that cushion, you can kind of take the pressure off, make smooth exchanges, know you're going to be in lane 1 doing it every time.
Yeah, that was key, man. Just being in lane 1 every time.
For sure. And then that's Kaylin Edwards taking it out, obviously able to maintain that lead.
You can see the Bruin faithful down here on the wall cheering on their team, right next to some other schools cheering, but Long Beach was loud tonight, guys.
Yeah, Long Beach made a lot of noise for sure. Kaylin Edwards is going to hand it off here to Varnado, who, again, this is great. You've got a strong finisher there. She was in the state final in the 400, so you feel good about her chances to not go from 1st to 5th. But not only does she not drop down to 5th, she's just going to, those Bruin girls know they can do the math.
You know what time it is?
They've got good math programs over there at Wilson, and they know with Varnado finishing in 1st, that means the Wilson girls team is going to finish in 1st, and it's a great time of 3:41.40. Poly would finish in 3rd, but end up DQ'd for a pass out of the zone, but an awesome, awesome performance for the Bruins.
It's Wilson, it's Poly crossing paths one more time for the boys. 4x4.
And let's set the stage here on the boys' side. It's exactly what we just talked about in the girls. The Poly boys need to finish 4th or higher to claim their team state championship and make it a Long Beach sweep.
That's gonna be lost, right? Both teams needed to go 4th or better in the 4x4. Are we gonna remember that in years?
It's like the 4x4x4. That's what we all want. Poly opening up with Darion Shufford. They changed their order up a little bit here, but they felt confident what they were doing. Wilson, all Wilson wants to do every year is end the state championship in the 4x4, and Wyland Obando, who we've already talked about, and J-Ron Harris are going to go out strong and help them look like, they've got a pretty good shot to do that. For the Jackrabbits, they did not start out where they needed to be. You see that freshman, Julius Johnson, he's got 4 guys in front of him. He's got to finish in 4th. He ran a really good second leg here to hold on because he could have let those guys go. You see how much closer Poly is as they hand off right there to Noah Smith.
In a lot of traffic.
Absolutely, a ton of traffic. But look, again, there's 4 guys in front of Noah Smith. If the race finishes right here, Poly finishes 2nd in the team standings. But watch Smith, who was injured for most of this season, really turn it on and just go start grabbing jerseys as he's going to come around this back corner.
And JT Kramer's going to do it too. I mean, Long Beach really took this back stretch.
Yes, for sure. On this 3rd leg was really where it all changed for sure because Kramer moved, Smith hanging on. They know they've got a Zy Ricks who all of a sudden looks very healthy, waiting on that anchor leg, which is obviously going to be key when all you're trying to do is finish in the top 4.
Yeah, so great leg by both, as you said, both Kramer and Smith to set Long Beach up in a great spot. Burrows out there in position in 1st. He's trying to hold on. Rick's trying to eat up as many as he can. He knows that this position is good enough, but Zy didn't come for 3rd. I mean, he's definitely going to push and see if he can get to the front. A really exciting anchor. Burrows is able to hold on for the win for Wilson, 3:12.54. Poly is going to end up in 3rd, 3:18.88. But the Jackrabbits can lose this battle and still win the war, and everyone can end this race happy. But you can see Ricks. I mean, he was almost going to get 2nd, guys.
He really, really wanted, you could see, to change the positions there for sure. And I think at some point you go, okay, hey, let me make sure I get this across the finish line. Let me make sure nothing pulls up or
Right.
There's no issues with anything. So Poly does take 3rd, as Tyler said, which gives them the team championship. And I love this moment
it's great.
of these guys literally getting together and yelling Long Beach
Yeah.
because Wilson won the gold in the event and Poly won the gold for the overall meet. on the boys' side. And then we're going to pause everything. We're no longer doing fireworks. We're now doing the drone show. It was very impressive, and you knew it was impressive because the LBC kids were all flipping out, Jake.
Indeed they were, and every time a new person would come down to the field, they would celebrate again, which was awesome. First, the relay medals, Wilson on top for both of them. That's just impressive if you're not even counting the team stuff or whatever. If you send your boys and girls 4x4 teams out there to end the night on top of the podium, that's just a thing.
Yeah, it's pretty special, and it's Wilson's made a habit of making sure they can kind of celebrate those final races, and of course Long Beach is making a habit of taking most of the hardware that's up for grabs. As you see Wilson and Polly right there, the boys 4x4 atop the podium, and yeah, it's just time to really let these teams have their moment in the sun, but also we got some team trophies to give out.
Yeah,
the medals are great, but what about the big boys?
Give them the hardware.
The state championship trophy sponsored by They Not Like Us. Wilson coach Neil Nelson hoisting the girls trophy. They go back to back for the first time in any sport in the history of Wilson High School. This is the 6th state championship for the school. 5 of them have been won by the girls track program, including 2 in the last 2 years. Coach Nelson and Coach Fisher deserve a ton of credit, along with this young Bruin squad, for bringing home the hardware. For the Poly boys, it's their first team championship at the state level since 2011. It's the 11th state championship for the boys team. It's the 26th overall state championship for the Poly track program and 38th state title in school history. And we love seeing these kids celebrate. We love seeing these two schools together, winning with sportsmanship, with class, and with utter domination at the state meet.
That is really our final big event of the athletic season here in Long Beach. And it's just a pleasure to do this at this meet and see Long Beach do so well. But you know what? We'll LBC you next year.